Yo, what's up you guys? Happy New Year, happy 2020. We have made it. This is actually an exciting year for me because this year actually marks 20 years of me breaking. I started breaking in the year 2000 in the summer, so it hasn't happened yet, but it's coming up. I'm gonna be breaking for 20 years this summer. And something that I like to do is always kind of like reflect and also just think about like what we could be working on in the year to come, right? This year we have been all training, we've been working, we've all, accomplished a lot of things, whether it's big or small. You guys have all made steps to learning and improving yourselves. So since this is the beginning of the year, I kind of wanted to just like take a step back and plan for this year, plan for our training. Those of you who have been part of my Patreon training group, we have been working a whole lot on flares, getting flares down, learning drills, and just really working on them. And actually at the same time, it's actually made me practice them even more. There's a lot of things that I practice, but sometimes when I get to go back and just work on basics, there's always room for improvement. There's always room to grow and get better and establish new connections. One of the things that I've been working on a lot just by teaching flares is actually just making comboing flares with other moves, other power moves, other things. And it's kind of been an exciting journey for me too. So if you guys are in my Patreon group, you guys already know, but if you're not, you're always welcome to join us. We do online workshops every single month. And so if you're interested, make sure you guys click the link below to be a part of that community. The main thing that I want to talk to you guys about today is kind of game planning for the rest of this year. What do we want to work on? What do we want to improve upon? I wanted to start this year off by setting a couple goals for you guys. And the first goal I'm going to give you guys is something that I've mentioned before. Flares. If you haven't learned flares, let's get flares down, right? If you have started them, if you have, kind of like gotten one flare, let's just get them down, right? Let's not waste any more time. Let's continue to dedicate ourselves to getting flares down, to mastering the technique, to just overall improvement, right? And I mentioned this before. It took me like 5 years to get flares down, to get them to where I was like comfortable. And I think a lot of it is just due to, I was competing a lot. So, sometimes, you don't have that time to dedicate to flares. So I was, dedicating to my competition stuff, right? And if your moves aren't ready for the competition, obviously you probably shouldn't do them. So I kind of kept putting off flares, and one day I was just like, all right, I got to dedicate my time to this. And I literally spent just a whole year just training flares, getting them down, going through wrist injuries and recovering from them and getting back. And so I want you guys to do the same. Get the flares down, and I promise you guys, you're gonna unlock so many different things and so many different potentials that you have. The second goal that I have for you guys is connections, right? Flares are just a single move, and you can go out there and do flares and people will cheer for you. But at the end of the day, it's just flares. If you're getting flares down, and even if you're still struggling with it, I want you guys to actually start establishing flare connections, right? Connecting flares with your moves, making that move useful. So going from a flare into something, or something into a flare. It could be as simple as doing flare combos such as flare windmill, windmill flare, swipe flare, flare to swipe. All those things are useful. And not even just that, maybe even like a flow move, like a sweep flare, right? Start coming up with different creative things that you guys can actually use your flare, right? So now your flare isn't just something that you just do, but there's actually a reason to do it, and it's actually like part of the movement versus just, just a flare by itself. Okay, start working on this stuff, and I promise you guys, you're gonna have an exciting journey ahead of you. It's not gonna be just a move, it's gonna be a movement. It's gonna be a part of your style, right? You can make a signature with the flare, and that's super exciting to me. So moving on to the third goal that I have for you guys, it is to actually create a set using a flare, right? Create a signature move for you with just a flare. And I know some of you guys are probably thinking, oh my gosh, people have already used all the flare options possible. That's not true, right? Get creative. Think of, you guys can unlock so many different possibilities by just practicing and experimenting, okay? And that's gonna be my goal for you guys, to create your own signature set using a flare. Make the flare a part of it, all right? Get as tricky as you want, as crazy as you want, experimental as you want, but come up with a set with a flare. So again, just to go over my goals for you guys, again, is to 1, get the flare down, master it, understand it. Number 2, start establishing connections, start working on different ways to get in and out of the flare. And number 3, to create your very own signature move or signature set using a flare, right? And I think this is gonna be a journey for you guys. It's not something that's just gonna happen, you know, this week. It's gonna be something that takes months and even years of practice, right? And again, if you are totally against flares, you hate flares, right? At one point in my life, I hated air flares, so I never learned it. But if you want to, you could apply the same goals to some other power move if you like. But if you can, try it with flares, because I think it's gonna be an interesting journey for all of us, all right? Again, thank you guys all for subscribing. We are almost at 400,000 subscribers. It has been an amazing year. Again, I love making these tutorials for you guys, so if you guys enjoy them as well, make sure you guys press like, subscribe, share this with a friend, because it definitely helps, you know, push the videos out a little bit more. Last thing, if you guys have any videos, suggestions, or anything that you want to see, please leave it in the comments below. I love to hear from you guys. I read the comments, you know, almost every week, and so I love hearing from you guys. If you guys have suggestions, and especially if it's good suggestions, please leave it down in the comments below. All right, I hope you guys are having a great day and a great week. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.